Because the boys are the ones who are toxic. Those are the guys who cheat. Those are the ones who lie, scam, manipulate, mind screw. These are the narcissistic ones, not men. Anyway, so I'm going to go off again. But you see what I'm saying? So what the disconnect is for most men is that, again, if we don't pay attention, if we just go with our natural drive, often it makes women feel like we're disconnected from them. Relationship, same damn thing, right? Go find out on both sides, gender intelligence. Smart people do this. Dumb people blame each other. Yeah. Men tend to do this. So how do I lead with sensitivities for her comfort so that she is not being hurt and also is able to trust me and be vulnerable to my leadership? Same loser. Well, it's not man, it's you, right? There's no such thing as men are all, it's you. Man, there's no such thing as women are all, it's you.
I said that we were born of relationship, which is why it is in our nature to want to be in one. Yet for far too many of us, we struggle with this. Some of that is due to mirroring less than the ideal relationships that we've been raised in our homes, through our families, friends, and of course, the latest RomCom movie. What it really boils down to is men and women have been fed a complete lie on what relationships are about, and we never learn how to interact in them. We are filled with misguided ideas and stories that make something so natural become so terribly hard. Well, today we're going to fix that, as my guest is an expert relationship coach. And before we get into all that, I just want to remind you, if you're interested in raising your standards as a father, a husband, and an entrepreneur, I encourage you to participate in our Band of Brothers group mentorship program. We're a group of ordinary guys working towards living extraordinary lives. You can find all this information at the Awakened Man Training Academy at members.theawakenedman.net. And with that, let's get on with today's episode.
The average man today is sleepwalking through life, many never reaching their true potential, let alone ever crossing the finish line to living a purposeful life. Yet, the hunger still exists, albeit buried amidst his cluttered mind, misguided beliefs, and values that no longer serve him. It's time to align yourself for greatness. It's time to become a revolutionary man. Stay strong, my brother.
Welcome, everyone, to the Revolutionary Man podcast. I'm the founder of the Awakened Man movement and your host, Alan Devonso. So before we get in, allow me to ask you a question. When you think of the most intimate relationship, what is the number one problem facing it? It's a hard question to answer if you really think about it. Yes, the quick response is a lack of communication, but that's just touching the surface. Could the problem be that we've got so many values and beliefs that are borrowed that we truly don't know what to ask, let alone how to communicate? Well, today my guest, Andre Paradis, is going to share his story and how he learned the intricacies of men, women, and relationships, and how his framework is transforming the lives of thousands. So allow me to introduce Andre. Andre's mission in life is to teach and empower people. Andre is a certified life coach, entrepreneur, business owner, and an artist who is now focusing his professional energy on teaching singles and couples how to create and maintain successful relationships. For the past 25 years, Andre has been teaching people in a variety of disciplines. And as he enters into the phase 3 of his life, as he calls it, Andre's Project Equinox is changing the lives of men and women. Welcome to the show, Andre. How are things, my brother?
Hi, good morning, Alan. That's quite an intro. I'm like, who are you talking about? Oh, wait. Wow. Thank you. Awesome. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to share what I do and really kind of bring maybe a different mindset and a different way of thinking about all this, to your audience in the world, because it's a mess. It's a big mess out there.
Absolutely. It's truly a hot mess, and we need to start breaking and shattering some myths and some beliefs, and I'm positive we're going to do that today. But before we get into all of that, I really want to set the groundwork and the foundation here. And we always talk about all of us being on our own hero's journey or a hero's quest. So tell us about a particular time in your life when you felt challenged, and maybe even felt lost, knew things had to change. What did you do, and how did that experience shape you into the man you are today and the work you're doing?
Oh my goodness, good Lord! I've had a few. Honestly, I've had quite a few, and it's interesting because that created in me the resilience that I needed to do the life and build the life that I have. Seemingly, at the time, horrible circumstances that turned into gifts. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between people who are victims and people who succeed. Is what you do with it. So my first one, when I was 5 years old, this is a really strange story. There's a few layers, but I'll just start here. The big one, I was 5 years old, and it was born. We just talked about this. I felt like I was born in the wrong space, in the wrong place, actually, but more so in the wrong family.
Mhm.
I was the fourth kid of a family of five. There's 7 of us in the house, and I'm like a complete misfit. I don't belong there. So, like, I don't belong there. Like, that's all I can tell you. Like, it's something is wrong. These are not my people. They don't like me. I don't understand that. Like, it's just not working. It's bizarre. And I'm 5 years old. So it took that long to get my thoughts and my feelings together. You know what I mean? Because I always felt that, but I won that moment. I remember going click. Like, what is this? So it was terrifying as a 5-year-old. I realized I was completely on my own, even though there was 6 other people around the house. Like, it's hard to describe. So that was the first time that I realized, okay, you're gonna have to handle this yourself. And on some level, not fully 100%, but emotionally, I literally raised myself. It was up to me. Everything that happened from here on was from my managing it. So again, terrifying as a 5-year-old, but it got me resilient, and it was the beginning of my studying of people. Because at that very moment, the second after that moment, I started watching everybody like a fox, like human beings, my family first, myself within that, and try to understand first, well, why, how is this possible? But I got to school, I was doing the same thing. I became fascinated with the human condition, trying to understand mine, but watching other people develop. And how come this guy turns out like this? How come this woman? Do you know what I mean? And all seemingly in the same area, in the same lifestyle, the same religion, the same blah blah blah, the same school, and we're all like the variety. So that became my original focus. Everything since then, I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, literally watching and then trying to understand myself and people. So that's how it started. That was the big one. That was the big one. I think that sort of set me up for really everything that I do now. Even though I've had different business and different careers throughout the whole thing, I started at the age of 23 within that mindset of always wanting to learn what I didn't know. For some reason, for me, it was like I realized it's always what we don't know that's actually dangerous. It's what we don't know that is dangerous, whatever it is, right? So I wanted to know and was curious about everything, human beings first, but everything. So I started taking personal development workshop at 23, and I never stopped. And my friends would go, like, come hang out this weekend. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm in a workshop. And they go, God, dude, why? What the hell? Like, what's all right? And I'm spending money, and they like really didn't understand. I'm like, it's my life. I'm trying to get on top of everything that I want, everything that I'm challenged with, everything that I don't understand about myself. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're gonna go party. I'm like, oh, okay, go party. It's cool. I'll be in a workshop. But within that whole being in that kind of setting, this is also where I could picture myself as a workshop leader. That's what I remember thinking, like, I love that. I could do this. I want to do this, but at the time it was just, and sure enough, I guess this is exactly kind of what happened. So that's one piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and because you started on this path and starting to really explore and understand and trying to understand the human condition, it's led you to so much. And a lot of your work now is really focused on the relationship aspect. And I think, one of the things I wanted to really dive into is really getting an understanding of the male psyche and what is it that makes us commit and what makes us want to leave our relationships and what's really going on.
You want to go there?
Let's go there.
So the question is exactly what makes a man commit?
Yeah.
My goodness. Now I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna like to you. It's gonna be like, well, yeah, duh. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a we have an innate sense of this that we can't necessarily talk about. Men can't explain these things; they just know them, if you want. And so that's why they can't describe them to women. Like, why do you blah blah, and how do you blah blah? I don't know. Right? Like, I don't know. Like, and because men are very, very, very binary in the fact that it works or it doesn't work. That's all we know. It's a yes or it's a no. That's it. Why? I don't know. you get on my nerve. I don't know. It's not working for me. I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't know. Right? Like, so it's a yes, a no, an in or out, or up and down, or left and right. There's no gray area. The feminine is all about gray area. The masculine is typically, sure, that's it. So men don't understand really psychologically, even they have no words to explain that mechanism of responding to women, respond to the feminine. Even responding to each other, but we have a male code that makes it really easy for us to understand what's happening without words. Male codes, this, you do men's work, so do I. Yeah. So when it comes to commitment, okay, I'm going to go there, and if for the ladies listening, it'll make no sense, and it'll actually sound really weird and a bit like a little bit out of my mind. But I'm going to say this: that ultimately, the disconnect is that women truly do not understand commitment. They just don't understand commitment, or the way commitment is wired for men, right? They always say, like, why do we, the resistance of men to commit, they believe that's because men are uncommittable, and that's not it at all. Men commit every freaking second of the day, and see if that fits you. But that's typical male behavior. That I can't do anything unless I commit to it. I commit to it. I can't get out of bed unless I commit to get out of the bed. I don't to do my work, to do everything, to handle my life. Every little thing that I do first I have to be committed to. That's important to me. Make a plan and go do it. Yeah. That's commitment. I got to just pick a plan, go do it. Like, there's a reason, there's a plan, there's a future that it builds. Yeah. So commitment is not casual, and it's not something that we're afraid of. We do it all day long, all week long, all month, constantly, But we're very aware that committing to a woman is life-changing. You know what I mean? A good partner makes a great life. A terrible partner makes a terrible life. And like that, again, very sensitive, very aware of this. You're not going to take some stressed out, anxious, disrespectful woman and have her move into your house. Ain't happening. Right? But what's out there right now is women are very disrespectful. Women are anti-male. Women are like, only no man. Okay. Right? So you see the problem, right? It's built into culture. It's ridiculous. So if now you consider that men are not afraid of commitment at all, they're just, that's not even a question, is who as a woman do you have to be for him to commit? Because he's responding to you, right? So it's not that he's not committable. He doesn't want to commit to you. Now, I'm making it sound like it's all on her, but it's the dance, right? It's a dance. But what most women don't understand men at all. Most men don't understand what makes a man commit, why he wants to commit. What's the benefit for him to take on his woman? Well, simple enough is if he's a man. Now, again, in my world, and I have to say this, because the ones who will get triggered by this conversation are the boys, I call. Yep. Because having a penis does not mean to have a man in front of you. In my world, there's 3 types of man. There's a man, there's a guy who's kind of stuck in the middle, shamed to be masculine, but still masculine enough to manage his life. And there's a boy who is a feminine man who typically don't have fathers, have been raised by women, have been castrated by their mothers, not willingly, just because that's what happened. Women are not able to raise men to be men. Mm-hmm. They end up being boys, like boy mentality. They want women to take care of them. They don't want to work. They want to be, passive. They want to be taken care of. They want you to make life easy on them. They're a victim. They get triggered when you say man up, motherfucker. Excuse my friend. But you know what I mean? Like, they get triggered by that shit.
Yep.
But man the fuck up, right? That's if something you say to a guy, he goes, and that sort of wakes us up, right? These guys get offended. You're so toxic, right? Boys. Now, 3 types of men. The masculine naturally wants to commit. The masculine conquers everything. The masculine will go and build a life by building his character, which builds his confidence, and he pushes through all his pain and all his discomfort and all his fears, build his character up, builds a legacy, whether it's a family or a business or money. Like, this is what men do. Something that's difficult, that he has to discipline himself to build something huge or big enough for him to gain self-respect, confidence, and build his character. but it's also how men get respected by other men and women. That's a man. That's not a boy who wants you to take care of him and pay for, 50-50 for his meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or actually doesn't want. Anyway, so I get really angry at the boys because they destroy everything. And women think that's men and it's not. So I have a real problem with these guys. So you'll hear the angst in my voice. Anyway, so men are the ones who conquer themselves. Men are the ones who are solid. Men are the ones who know who they are. You can't like knock them off their pedestal. They know who they are, and you're trying to mess with them, you're gonna find yourself on the other side going, what the hell just happened? Right? You can't move them. They're solid, and with that, they're big. They're often a little scary for women because the energy of that is huge, right? We get to be loud. We get to be sometimes too controlling, but controlling is part of being masculine, right? Too controlling, so it needs to be adjusted. Sometimes that's what we need the women to kind of bring us down out of the rafters, right? To make us a little more sensitive. I call it even a little more like human, not so beastie. Right. Called testosterone to our veins. Like it makes us big, conquering, pushy, fight, push, penetrate. That's what we do. Yeah. Naturally, this is all nature, by the way. It's not toxic, it's nature. This masculine essence. It's to go conquer and make space and survive. That's how we do it. And with that, we take care of our women because they're the one who bring life to the world. We'll provide, protect, conquer, give, and cherish them because they're the ones that are nurturing source that we need to nurture our offsprings. And that's our legacy. Yeah. For most of us. So there's a dance, right? It's an exchange. So what do men need to commit? He needs to find a woman who is supporting his effort in the world. And in exchange, he will support her in the ways that she needs to be supported. Financially, keep her comfortable, predictable, feeling safe. Instinctively, that makes women respect their man. And when you respect your man and you believe in what he's up to in the world, that gives him the jet fuel to do even more. Which comes down to when you hear this all the time, behind every great man is a fantastic woman. That is the formula. This is what men need for women to commit. Very simple. Believe in the guy, back him up into his mission in life that is bigger than life for him, that is difficult. He's got a big goal, whatever it is. Yeah. Right? Whether it's financial or change the planet or save the world or save the children, whatever it is, right? Like whatever he's after, if you say man, it's big. And he's going to go after it for years. And he needs somebody to help him when it feels like he's not going to conquer that he may fail, that he may not be good enough, that he may not know what he's doing, right? Like a woman that says, please, babe, you make me laugh. You got this. You'll work it out. Yeah. You're amazing. I've seen you do it before. Like when a woman believes in a man that she can help him alleviate his self-doubt, she's a unicorn. There's no more competition. There's nobody can replace her. No one. Taller, prettier, younger. It's deleted, right? You become the unicorn. And this guy will spend the rest of his freaking life killing himself to keep you happy, comfortable, joyful, right? Like in a good setting, up your lifestyle, better, provide, protect, give, cherish you to death as you're doing your part in the system. It's not a competition. It's not a dictatorship. It's not men in front of women. Right, the patriarchy that made everyone believe that men have been shitting on women for millennia. That's not it. It's men holding themselves accountable for women and children all the time. Mm-hmm. You don't need to take care of this, honey. I got it. I'll go out there, conquer and hunt and kill. You stay home and stay safe. Take care of the kids. That's not toxic. That's beautiful. It's nature. And by the way, in every species in the world works that way. The masculine provides and protects. Beautiful. The women take care of the kids. And the nesting and the background. Like it's not less than, it's just different. It's complementary.
Well, that's a good point, Andre, because I think that the challenge is that, and I was just going to say is there's still men though that will choose a woman that isn't right for them in the description and the way that we're talking about it here today. And that I think about that being in that place in life where you've worked hard, you're doing everything you can, you're building your personal brand, you've got a successful business, mm-hmm. and then you wake up one day and your wife says she no longer wants to be with you. Yep. And you have your mind just kind of goes crazy because finally in front of you is something that you haven't seen that's probably been there because that just didn't happen that morning.
Right.
Things have been leading up. And so what are you finding in the work that you're doing with men and couples and relationships that's leading men to be so blind in their relationships?
All right. So back to nature. Again, everything I'm teaching is not my opinion. It's the research, the data, and it's really just an extension of nature. And in our culture, we keep pushing away from nature, thinking it's, we're better than that. And it comes to bite you in the ass. And there's a price to pay for going against nature. Just going to say. Also, you have to understand your own nature as a male, what we're naturally tend to do, the way we're wired, the way we operate is very different to the way a woman is wired, the way she operates. And we are so completely different, in that, and it's on purpose, by the way, because we bring to each other the part that the other one doesn't have. Mm-hmm. So we're completely different, but we're made to fit together. What my wife brings to my life is something that I don't innately have. When I bring to my wife's life the security and safety that she needs to be feminine, happy, and relaxed, she can't do that herself, right? She's smaller and weaker, right? So the idea of coming together is to really build a relationship, build a dynamic that is much better than us alone and complementary. And there's a lot of data on this that married people or people in healthy, loving relationships are happier, live longer, make more money, are more creative, blah, 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 blah. There's a huge amount of data on this. That's not my opinion again. So interesting, both men and women, this is actually nature again, right? We're better coupled together. We're better. We balance each other out. We build something together. We're partners, not competitors, which is what's happening in our culture right now. Women are competing with men, wondering why men get pissed off and walk off. Can't compete with a man. You compete with him in his house. Are you crazy? Like, he won't tolerate that for 1 second. If he's a man, if he's a boy, he's going to let you, and then be passive aggressive, and you'll pay another way. You will pay another way, because the boys are the ones who are toxic. Those are the guys who cheats. Those are the ones who lie, scam, manipulate, mind screw. These are the narcissistic ones, not men. Anyway, so I'm going to go off again, but you see what I'm saying. So what the disconnect is for most men is that, again, if we don't pay attention, if we just go with our natural drive, often it makes women feel like we're disconnected from them. We live in our heads. So you could be next to, how many times you've had a woman, say to you, like, I'm right here, and he doesn't even know I'm here. Like, he's so not interested in me, right? Like, energetically, when we move, because we live in our heads, because we have to be logical, thinker, planning, hunting, right? So typically I get up in the morning and I have to figure out what my day is going to be like today to survive, for the system, for the family, right? From work to travel to cars to logistics, right? Men take care of the stuff in life. Women take care of the energy and the nurturing part of life, right? So for men it's stuff, for women it's the energy, the emotion. Again, that's how we help each other.
Yeah.
Right? Women bring us out of our stupid heads because we're so stuck in our heads. Again, it's a survival mechanism. But often they feel that we're cold, disconnected, aloof, we don't care, and we're self-centered or selfish because we're always turned into ourselves, thinking of what I need to do. I'm not present, I'm always in my head. This is when we need the feminine, right? So to a woman, a guy, even a good guy who's got his life together, who's building a life, a mission, a business, right? He's doing everything he can to keep the household and the system going. But often to women, this guy doesn't give a crap. All he does is work. Right? He comes home, he gives me an air kiss. How you doing, babe? He's tired. But like the connection that they need to feel safe, we don't understand. So a lot of us just man up, but because we don't understand what women need to stay connected, to feel safe with us, because for women, connection is safety. Mm-hmm. If you talk to her, if you share with her, if you look at her face, if you touch her, she feels safe and connected, and that calms her nervous system, and she's happy to see you. If she starts feeling that you are not connecting with her, if you don't talk to her, if you go straight from the garage to in front of the TV, the computer, the newspaper, whatever, like if you don't connect with her, she starts feeling that you don't care. and makes you feel unsafe and makes you feel taken for granted. And all of a sudden, who is this man in my house? But we're just stuck in our 12-hour days of this is what I have to do, and then I have to relax. I come home, I chill, I relax. I don't want to talk. I want to recover. I want to eat. I want to think about nothing, right? And just so I go literally rebuild my nervous system, rebuild my testosterone, so I go fight the world the next day. This is how we do automatically. To a woman, it looks very strange. It looks disconnecting and shallow, and we don't care. So this is when the wheels come off, because a woman will take care of this or will handle this for years and years and years until she's convinced he'd rather work than being with her. I've had women say to me, my husband doesn't care. He works 14-hour days. On the weekend, he sleeps or tinkles in the garage. He doesn't want to spend time with us. He doesn't want to go anywhere with us, right? And I saw the man completely lose his mind on her. He's like, do you think I want to work this much? Do you think I'm doing this for me? I'm doing this for us, because I promised you that, I was going to take care of you and the kids, and that I promised you that you weren't going to have to work when we had children. We agreed that you were going to take care of the kids, that you wouldn't have to work because I will take care of everything. That's an agreement we had. You love that idea that you didn't have to work, which means I have to double up out there, because they had quite a high lifestyle. So that was his value system. Like, this is how our family's going to live. So he had a full-time job and a part-time business with a friend. So he did work 14, 15-hour days, not because he thinks it's fun. That's what he held himself accountable for, to raise his family in comfort.
Yeah.
But to the woman, after years of he's working too much, it looks like he'd rather work than be with us. He'd rather work than spend the weekend with us. He'd rather work than go on a small vacation with us. And I understand all of this, but if you're an entrepreneur, you understand how difficult that is, right? You always are working. Mm-hmm. Even on day off, you up in your head. So this is where we need to flex. This is where we need to adjust. As men, we sometimes get stuck in our duties, in our commitments, in our survival instant mechanism, and never stop. We're always in our heads, and it makes women feel that we don't care. And eventually they actually start believing, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Anyway, so when women have this conversation, often the guys lose their mind. They lose their minds. That's not at all what he's doing, but that's what it looks like. So that's where we need to get in the middle, right? So men have to understand what women need, on a basic instinctual level. Like, overall, women are very reasonable when they understand what you're up to. If they don't understand what you're up to, they start slipping.
Well, it's that communication piece, right, is what you're getting to. And I was going to ask, the other thing I was going to ask is, like, there must be some, in your work, you must recognize some pretty consistent signs that guys can pick up that in the relationship that, hey, maybe it's starting to go a little bit sideways, that they can reel this thing back in before it's over the deep end and they're off the cliff. What are some of those things? Well,
it's funny because most guys, so funny. Women are always looking for, trying to understand what's going on. Women are searching for information like this about relationship. Women are always after it, because part of being a woman, and I call it a cave woman default system, we think we're so smart. We all think we're so beyond our instincts and our DNA, and we're so not. This is like so ridiculously, like, we think we're elevated, educated, and civilized, and we're better than we're cavemen and cavewomen to this day still. The wiring system is still survival. Everything that women are compelled to do instinctively is for survival, and so are men, but they're two different machines completely. Mm-hmm. So one of the instincts in men that is not helping, that is not helpful, that really messes them up left and right, I see it all the time, is we're neurotic and natural fixers. We fix everything neurotically, right? That's why a woman started to have a conversation about her day that with bad, he's trying to fix it. Well, you try to talk to your boss, and if she wants to kill him, like, I don't need you to fix this, I just need you to listen to me, right? But our ridiculous neurotic need to fix, to be the hero, that's what we do, we fix problems. Often what happens in my world is that the guy is noticing that his wife is changing, or that she doesn't like him very much, or she's not looking at him anymore, and he walks in the house and she goes in a different room. I had one guy say, he goes, my wife used to be amazing, like, just the loveliest thing, now I come home, she rolls her eyes and goes, oh, it's you. He goes, and then she walks in a different space, right, a different room. She hates me. He goes, I don't understand. The dog likes me, right? But she, like, right? She hates me. And I go, dude, right? She probably feels taken advantage, taken for granted. You're not connecting with her. She doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel you're on her side. Like you're missing all the instinct the woman needs to relax and be feeling safe. She's happy to see you, as opposed to this is the guy who's going to remind me that I don't matter. That's how it occurs to women. So again, just I'm going around the block, but this generates all kinds of layers. That what messes men up is that idea of I don't know what's going on, but I'll fix it. And I always say, how the hell are you going to fix it? You don't know shit. You don't know what's happening with her. You just know something's wrong. So you think like flowers will take care of it. She'll look at you and go, thanks. Too little, too late. That has nothing to do with what's going on, right? Like, so like men are stupid that way. I want to say that's a stupid default that I'll fix it. How? I don't know. Well, duh. You're not going to fix it. It's going to go to shit. And it's only when women go, I want a divorce, and now they panic. They panic and they wake up and I'll say, what the fuck? What the fuck? Well, like, it's been coming for 10 years, you dumbass, right? You're going to fix it, but you don't change anything because you don't understand. You know what I mean? So, and which is terrible about this, and you may be able to relate to this. I know some listeners are, the males, is that women are very patient, right? They're in the game, right? They don't want to screw up their lifestyle. They don't want to, they just, maybe one day he'll wake up. Maybe one day he'll talk to me. Maybe one day, right? They give you because they know we're good guys on the inside. They don't see it very often, or they miss the connection, but they know it's in there, right? So they kind of try to be more pleasant and pleasing and lovely and nurturing, thinking, we're going to bring him out so I can freaking get that connection that I'm looking for, the feeling of safety, except it's in there, but it doesn't, again, without awareness, he keeps being a guy up in his head, doing what he has to do. It doesn't matter what she feels like. He doesn't get that. And so what happened to women were patient, 10 years, 15 years, just waiting for him to maybe chill out and maybe come around and maybe blah, blah, blah. And then when she realized it's hopeless, this is what's terrible, because this is when it's literally like a mechanism, like a key. Women go off. I'm done with this. And when a woman goes, I want a divorce, it's too late. You can't bring it back. I've never seen it. When she will give you so much rope for decades until she goes, now she's convinced he doesn't give a crap. She's convinced it's never going to change. She's convinced he doesn't care. She's convinced she'll never get that good part of him that she sees. Mm. And it's over. And this is when the guys go, what the hell? We have 3 kids. Doesn't matter. So men, don't wait till it's too freaking late, and you won't figure it out because you don't know a thing about women. A thing about women. And that's what's dangerous. This is what you don't know that is dangerous. So what I suggest what to do is a term that Dr. John Gray cornered that he doesn't use anymore because people were reacting to it, but it's so ridiculous to react to this. He calls it gender intelligence. And people go, what the? Well, yes, like emotional intelligence, physical intelligence. Well, there's such thing as gender intelligence. And what that is, in my world, and I teach this stuff, is if you're a man and want to be in a relationship with a woman, you got to cross the bridge into a woman world and find out what makes them tick, what motivates them, why they take things personally, why they say stuff like, I need so very little, how come you can't? Because for us, little is pointless, worthless, because we quantify everything. It's very, very fun. Again, wiring, caveman shit, right? So freaking go find out what makes a woman tick so you could give her the part that she needs to relax, feel good, feel connected, which makes her happy with you, and then obviously she becomes a support system you want her to be, and you have a chance of a long-term relationship. If you don't know, which you don't know, man, you don't know shit about women, and this is why you get in trouble. And with all the good intentions, you're going to mess it up. So cross the bridge, go learn some shit. There's a lot of stuff out there, I suggest live stuff. Books are okay, but books don't change your life. Go have a visceral experience, right? Workshops, face-to-face. Anyway, and same with the ladies. Ladies, you want to be in a relationship with men, you can't be on your side going, I want this. He needs to be like this. He needs to meet me up here. That's all crap. Like, get over yourself. That's not how it works. It's a partnership. So, ladies, instead of demanding men be the way that you want them to be, like girls, completely stupid and unrealistic, right? Men are not acting like girls. Men will not talk to you like your girlfriend, act like your girlfriend, be vulnerable like you. They won't. So I know it'd be nice, but that's completely against nature. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's a whole system that is fantastic. Provide, protect, warrior, right? Like there's a system that's built in that's instinctive. So go find out what makes men tick. What we do, what we do, what motivates us, why we're so stoic. There's a reason for that. There's a bunch of like, all instinctive. Go find out. And it's a fantastic because when women do this, literally 50% of everything that they take personally from us dissipates. They go from why do we always to he's just a guy. Look, he's trying to protect me. Oh, look, they see the mechanism, the wiring, the operating system.
Yeah.
So smart people do this, right? They don't point the finger and blame. They go learn some shit, and then what happens is this is the way I put it. Now both of you come back on the bridge, meet in the middle, and look behind me. Right, I come from a background of dancing. Look behind me. This is my wife and I. My wife and I ballroom dancing. Now this is not equal. This is partnership. What I do as a leader is not what she does as a supporter of my lead. Neither role is better than the other. They're essential for the dance to fly. So gender intelligence, get on the bridge and start practicing. The communication, the understanding, right? The dancing together, the metaphors are fantastic. My entire life I dance, and the metaphors what I teach you now are fantastic. I have a workshop this afternoon here in Los Angeles where we're going to do the dance of relationship. We're going to actually learn to salsa dance and understand the energy needed for that to flow, which is the same energy you need to be in a relationship. Now, like if you've seen ballroom dancers and watch them glide across the floor, it looks so incredibly beautiful, effortless, and like one piece, right? They become one different entity, two pieces into one, and it's so beautiful. And I go, well, you know how much training went into that? You know how much rehearsing, coming together and communicating without words? Relationship, same damn thing, right? Go find out on both sides, gender intelligence. Smart people do this. Dumb people blame each other and are reasonable. So learn some shit, excuse my French, right? And then get on the dance floor and start, try practicing. In the beginning, it's clunky, it's weird, it's back, right? You step on each other's toes. If you're a male, you get the elbow to the nose or the knee to the groin. That's happened to me. It's part of learning together. But eventually, you get smoother. Your communication, your understanding, his leadership with kindness, because it's not dictatorship again, right? As a dance leader, I could hurt my wife, or I could hurt the girl. I could overcrank her. I could overlead her, right?
Yeah.
Men tend to do this. So how do I lead with sensitivities for her comfort, so that she is not being hurt and also is able to trust me and be vulnerable to my leadership, that she's not going to get hurt. Exact same thing in relationships. So women have to learn to be vulnerable to a man's leadership. That makes him feel like a man. He's going to hold himself accountable, and he's happy to adjust for her comfort. He doesn't want her to be hurt, or right.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, same in the dance, same in the relationship, the woman has to let him lead, and that doesn't make her passive, right?
She has to trust, right? She has to trust that she can lead, that she can be led.
Right, and then, again, that's how it has to be built, right? That trust has to build gently in the practicing, where she could trust and be vulnerable to his leadership, and then she could actually let go. And by the way, what she's doing is not passive. She's doing everything I'm doing backwards in high heels in a dress. It's not passive. It's essential for me to take her on a ride. However, when she trusts my leadership, that she's not going to be hurt and I'm not going to spin her into a wall, right? She gets to relax. She gets to glow. She gets to be feminine. She gets to smile. She's radiant, right? That beautiful energy comes out. I still, to this day, make my wife squeal when we dance. I still surprise her. She squeals like, yeah, like girl noise. It's so beautiful. And guess what happens? I'm doing a lot of the work. I'm doing the leading work. I decide how it goes, where it goes. She gets to let go, like with the flow on the ride that I'm providing. It, radiates joy and femininity because she's free, right? And to create this dance. And guess what? No one's looking at me. No one's looking at me. They're all looking at this beautiful energy coming out of her, of this feminine, glorious, feeling safe and happy, in the arms of a good man who knows what he's doing.
Jeez.
Boom.
Just love that. Loved how you use the metaphor of the dance and being able to, and how for men to learn to lead. I think that's just so profound. And you was getting into the gender intelligence, which I wanted to talk about today too. But really, I wanted to get into your Project Equinox and how that came about. And is this, I guess, the gender intelligence is part of that foundation, but maybe expand on what Project Equinox is all about and what you're doing with it.
So again, the story of my life as it developed, constantly looking, researching, studying people, my neurotic brain, and 2006, how this happened to this level now where I'm at today. So 2006, I was up north in a business workshop, of course, a 3-day workshop in San Jose, California, Northern California. And I met some people, obviously, and I was trying to up the ceiling of my other business. I'd taken it as far as I could with my knowledge. So let's go in some shit, right? That's my brain. So I'm in a workshop for 3 days. On the flight back to Los Angeles, I'm sitting in a row with people that I met earlier during the workshop. I remember thinking it was random, like, oh, interesting, we're all sitting together, right? Not so much. I don't believe any of that anymore. Nothing is random. Because that moment changed my life. And like this. I on the plane, the lady says to me, she goes, what are you doing next weekend? And I go, I'm off next weekend. Why? She goes, do you want to come to a workshop? It's on me. Hell yeah, right? My brain. I don't know what it is, but you're going to teach me some stuff, and these things can be expensive. She's inviting me. It's on me. It's local by the airport. I'm like, absolutely. And then I go, wait. So what's the workshop? What is it? She goes, it's called Understanding Women. Okay. Now you have to understand, because of I don't know how to explain this, but maybe my artistic, I thought I knew something about women because I've always attracted sweet women like my wife. Always. I never did the stuff my friend did, the yelling, the screaming, go book yourself, right? I attracted sweet, gentle women. So I thought it was me. I knew something. Without arrogance, I couldn't even explain it though. Really, like if you ask me how, I have no idea. So I went there a little bit sort of like, what are you going to teach me? Right? Not arrogant, just, hey, like, I don't really need this. By then, we're married. We have 2 little kids. I'm not looking for any of this. We're doing fine. So I'm literally randomly just in the space. But I went because I said I would. And I'm accountable. And I'm that guy. I'm going to ruin my weekend learning about girls. Okay, whatever. So I go a little bit backwards. And my goodness, all I can tell you is at the end of the workshop, my brain was all over the walls. Like my brain absolutely exploded. I realized I knew nothing about women, like nothing. That's why I tell you guys, you don't know anything about women. You don't know a damn thing about women, how they function, why they take things personally, why they're edgy like this. Why you don't know. But when you understand, you go, oh, and then you can step in and do the part that they need to chill, relax, feel safe, and love you. Like they'll love the shit out of you when you give them what they want. And they can't really also explain it except they keep asking for stuff that we don't understand. Anyway, long story short, for me, I realized I have 2 little kids, for God's sakes. My siblings are all married and divorced twice, 3 times, 1, 4. I have my girl, I have my angel, I have my family. I'm not going to mess this up because I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be statistics just because I didn't know. Like that to my brain is insane. So I really panicked after that workshop. I literally panicked. I was afraid for us because I don't know anything. What am I doing to her? Without knowing, with all my good intentions, pissing her off, make her feel disconnected, make her feel I don't care. Hell no, right? I have 2 little kids. I have my angel wife. So I just really panicked. She says I came home after that workshop and I was pale, and I was actually that upset. Like I realized how dangerous not knowing this material was for my life, for our family. So I went into the company. I took all their curriculum, all their workshops. I started assisting to be in the space for free to learn and relearn and relearn and relearn the material because I want to integrate it. That's my brain. Now, because I'm a teacher at heart, I ended up becoming a workshop leader for them. And that was the beginning of this entire story where I ended up not working with this company. It was too much politics, but I continue my work and my research, again, because I'm thirsty for knowledge. And I was doing this for us, for my family, right? But like the more I discovered, the more I discovered, the more I discovered, the more I discovered, right? And then it led me to different masters, Dr. John Gray, Shanti Felhan in the South, Dr. Pat Allen in Los Angeles. I worked with her almost one-on-one, like semi-private in a group of 5 for 3.5 years. Like, she's the best marriage child family therapist in the freaking world, as far as I'm concerned. Taught me everything, like from the background of psychology. Esther Perel, who's now famous, at a time she wasn't, about love and love intimacy and love dynamics and why people cheat and why people stay together. Like, that's my brain. So I have 5 masters on which shoulder I'm standing on to do that work. And what happened is, again, it's neurotic. I kept learning. I can't help it. I love it. And again, for us. But next thing you know, that's all I could talk about. Next thing you know, I'm helping my family. Next thing you know, I'm helping my friends. I had a car business in the middle there, and my customers would open up to me, like it would the crack open in front of me. I've always had that. I don't know what that is, but people like just like trust me. They're vulnerable with me. Like, man, that's always been. I never understood quite what that is. Apparently, they know that I'm not going to judge them.
Yeah.
How they get, I don't know. But like, there was a joke in my office at the time in my business that if the office door is closed, you don't come in, somebody's crying. So the machine just started on its own, even though I wasn't really focused on the business. It started happening, and then eventually, Project Equinox was formed to teach this material beyond me. It was the calling. And I had both businesses going for a while, and eventually I had to sell the business because this was going too fast, too far, too quick, and killing me to do both. I can do both. And so Equinox, the name Project Equinox, the equinox is the perfect balance between daylight and day and night, right? The equinox of nature as well, between summer and winter. Like, the equinox is that in between places. So I thought, metaphorically, that was a good name. Men and women, the balanced spot, the sweet spot. I call everything's a sweet spot. Man and man, and the operating system have them like behave in ways that women really confuse women and baffle them, and they don't understand. Same with women baffle the hell out of men, right? So if we stay, again, we're built in opposition on purpose to fit, but that system is beautiful. We just got to get to the sweet spot in the middle so we could dance, right? That's what I teach. So that's how it all started, like the equinox, the balancing of, we don't change men into women. It doesn't work. We don't change women to men. We do this in our culture right now. It's ridiculous. Destroys everything. It's how do we get to be together and actually dance together? And, she could be a woman who is capable, and he could be a man who's sensitive. Right. This is how we balance and equalize each other. We need each other.
Yes. Men
need women. Women need men. It makes for a better life and actually builds, families, healthy families, where those kids end up be able to be in healthy relationship and build their own healthy families. And this is how you create and sustain a healthy culture. Right now, our culture is going to hell because we destroy all of that in the name of equality.
Yes.
Not working. Oof, I just went off, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Oh, outstanding, Andre. And I completely agree with you. I think the challenge we have in our society today is that we're on this big fight, this big mission to make everything equal, and equal doesn't work. We need to be individual, solid in who we are, and show up that way. And then we create something more powerful. I've never seen 2 things equal creating something more powerful. I've seen two different things coming together, creating something more impressive.
That's what I'm talking about. Men and women, masculine and feminine, yin yang. You know what I mean? But I mean, even if you can think about it, like, you take this out of the realm of relationships, right? Because men and women is complicated because we're 2 different machines. Mm-hmm. So we confuse each other. We don't understand each other. She wants it her way. I don't understand what the hell she wants. I want it my way, or I shake my head like, God damn, like right? Okay, I get it, right? That's the problem. It's always been the problem. But get this: if you take sex out of it, or take the genders out of it, right? I have friends here in Los Angeles. They have this. They do workshops, of course. That would be my friends, right? And so they have this small company where they teach workshops, business workshops, right? So they're partners. They're 2 guys. They're business partners. They're not lovers. They're 2 guys. Create a business together. That's a partnership. But guess what? In that partnership, one guy is extroverted. One guy is on stage with a microphone. One guy is in everybody's faces. One guy opens all the doors. One guy is in the public. That one guy is the machine of social media. Like, he's the voice. He's forward. He's extroverted. He loves it, delights in it. That's kind of who I am as well. Like, just I'll handle it. Let me have it. Oh, well, let's figure it out. Let's get a group together. Let's talk about it, right? Like, just he's the pusher. That is the one extroverted, and it's fantastic. It's natural for him.
Yeah.
The other partner, exact opposite. He's the guy in the office. He's the introvert. He's the guy who creates the content. He's the guy that fine tunes the work. He's the guy that finds his topic. Right? He's the brain behind the voice.
Mm-hmm.
But either one of them can be successful without each other. It's when they come together in complete opposition. They're two opposite beings in every possible way, right? But together, the partnership is fantastic. That's how you succeed, right? Somebody's leading more and somebody's supporting the lead, but it's not either one is either less than the other. Because the guy who's in the office, you can't put him on stage. He would freak out. He can't handle that. It's not built for that. He hates it.
Yeah.
And even if you liked it a little bit, and you could get on stage once in a while, again, there's a flex in a relationship, right? There's stuff that women want to do that are masculine and vice versa, right? It could be negotiated, but the big system has to be there's an opposition.
Yeah.
Right? In every corporation, there's somebody leading, and everybody else has to line up with the mission, the purpose.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not men in front of women. Again, it pisses me off. It's not patriarchy that's been destroying women for millennia. It's not. What's happening now is we convince women that's what happened. So now you go, girl, it's your turn. So now we're trying to put women in front of men. That's not partnership. That's competition. That's fighting. Mm-hmm. With the actual relationship, it's like these two men, and every love relationship and every dance is side by side. It's partnership. Nobody's in front of anybody. It's together. Different roles, different bits, right? And that's all negotiable, by the way. In a dance world, there's not much negotiating, right? Like I got to lead, and you got to support that, right? But in a relationship, there's a lot of flex, right? I'll do this. I don't really like doing this. Well, I'll take that on. That's on you, right? It's all this. So I'm not talking about people always accuse me of like feminists will say, well, so are we just supposed to dumb it down and wiggle our asses like Marilyn Monroe? I'm like, is that what I said? You idiot. It's not what I said. I said there's a modern way to do what works best according to nature. Yeah. Right? President, vice president, pilot, co-pilot, driver, navigator. If you both are going for the wheel, the plane crashes.
Yes.
Just saying. Again, like these two guys, right? They don't want to do each other's jobs, right? They stay in their lanes, but together, ba-ba! Mm-hmm. So again, I'm not saying to women, you have to be pregnant and barefoot, right? That's not it. That's not it, right? Don't put words in my mouth.
Yeah.
But, get this, and I'm going to say this just like go off, you get me going, right? So the feminist movement was all about giving women choices, right? So you don't want to be a housewife and a mother. You want to, great, you go, girl, love it, fantastic. That was a great idea. You know what I mean? So women get in the workforce, they start making their own money, blah, blah, blah. Great. I don't really care. Men don't really care, by the way. But ladies, you were made to believe that was important, and that you need to find yourself in that, because being a mother and a wife is not gonna. Okay, whatever, right? So some women, there was always choice. So, and back in the days, feminists 1 and 2, women basically had choices. You step into a business world, or you could be a home mom, right? Or you could do a version of a mix of both, right? Work part-time and still being a mother and a wife, right? Like there was choice. That was the point. That's not what it is anymore. Right now, it's an anti-male movement. It's a you go girl. And, like if women want to talk about, I have my assistant is 27 years old. She wants 3 kids and a husband. She can't say this out loud. Girl, we got to talk. You're better than this. You're better to be some guy's slave wife. You're better than a baby making machine, like shamed out of wanting to be a natural woman and have a relationship kid. Shamed. She can't say it out loud. That's ridiculous, right? This is where the thing went too far.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say about all this ultimately is, as women got all the choices, and I was gotten to the point where it's anti-male and men are toxic and dangerous, you can't trust them, right? How's that going to work? By the way, ladies, half the planet are male. So you can't, if you're thinking that way, you're an idiot. You got to rethink this thing, right? You can't complain that men don't show up when you disrespect them and treat them like shit. Sorry. Yeah. But get this, as women have discovered to have all the choices nowadays, and they have all the choices, they can do whatever the hell they want. And they do, and they've proven they could do everything. Beautiful. Go girl, fantastic, right? But men don't have choice. It's never changed for the males. We're still expected to provide, to protect, to give, to cherish. You're still expected to build something in life, to be relevant in the world, to conquer something, to build something, first for your own self-respect, but to be respected by men and women. Men have not changed their roles. We're still expected to be very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Except in our culture now, women refuse to be traditional, and they wonder why men don't want to get with them.
Yeah.
Traditional men who build and conquer everything, who want wives and kids and build a kingdom and put their arms around that kingdom with everybody they care for, right?
Yeah.
Are traditional. And women still want men to do all this, but they refuse to be the queen. They refuse to be the mother. They refuse to be the supporter of his kingdom. The queen isn't less than the king. They need each other.
Yes.
Right? But women refuse to be traditional, and they don't understand why men don't want them. He needs to meet me up here. No, get the hell out of here. What's wrong with you? That's not how it works, right? But that's the cultural crap they've been sold. So I want to say this, ladies. You want a traditional man, you have to become a traditional woman. Forget your mother, forget your culture, forget your feminist crap, forget the go girls, you know man. Because I want to say this, and I love you all, by the way. I'm talking a lot of shit here, but like I'm all on your side because I get irritated with this ridiculousness because you are being sold a lemon that won't work. You will suffer. You will end up alone, with a bunch of cats because you missed the boat on all this, thinking it's better, it's right, and that you're somehow to protect yourself from men.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's not it, right? So if you're going against nature, the price you're going to pay is terrible. And I can tell you stories, but I'm not going to. So you do what you want, but be careful with when you when you step into when you put your foot down on because your culture, your mother, your school, your friends told you, that is better. It's not. So my job is to sound the alarm and women, you make your choice. You want to be a mom, you want to be a wife, it's your choice, right? Like just
no shame.
Stop,
right?
No shame. Stop listening to this toxic feminine crap that will make you believe that if you don't step up in the world like a man and produce like a man, that you're a traitor to the sisterhood or you don't need no man, you go girl.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Most of my women, all my clients are completely against that. They got caught up in it, realized they were miserable. How do we do this? Anyway, did I just go off again? Did I just go off again? I'm so sorry.
No, that was outstanding, Andre. I just love that. Man, we could go on for a couple more hours, but just wanted to wrap up with this. If there was something we haven't spoken about today or one thing you'd like our listeners to remember, what would that be?
Gender intelligence. Get over yourself, right? You won't, we don't understand each other. And it's again, we're built differently, again, to be complementary. And it's nature. That's the way it's supposed to be. The complication is you have to put in the work a little bit. I say this all the time. We're as equal as our genitals. Completely opposite, made to fit. Everything about men and women is this. Yeah. Women are completely different than us in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, completely different. That is the freaking point. Ladies, men are completely opposite of you on purpose. God made. There's a point for this. It's called survival. We have to come together to build something for all of us to live better lives. Right? So, gender intelligence, cross the bridge, learn some shit, go practice it, discover men, discover women in the authentic good self, right? It's when you understand instinct and our nature and you go with that instead of fighting it, that when you bring out the best out of a man, you get the best out of a man. He'll kill himself for you, ladies. Kill himself. No manipulation needed. You don't have to manipulate men to take care of you. They will naturally do. We want to do it, but you have to be the support system that I need for me to do this. If I'm going to spend my life on you, right? I need something that I need, like support. You have to believe in me. You have to, not try to change me. Disrespectful. You have to respect me all the way. Right? And good men are very respectable. You just have to, right? Same thing. So on both sides, you got to learn and you got to go practice it. And this is on the other side, again, same thing with men. When you understand instinctively, what makes a woman feel safe, connected, connected, which means it brings out the loveliness in her, gets her nervous system to calm down. Right? My client when I told you, like after 10 years, she rolls her eyes when he comes home, right? And just changes room, and so the good news is not both parties don't have to know this. As long as one understands, like instinct for both of us, you make the change and you pull out the instinct in the other one. So this guy was funny. I go, obviously she doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel connected. She feels taken for granted. She's staying like that. He goes, well, I just, I don't. I go, I know. So I taught him instinctively what his wife needs: to feel connected, to feel safe, to feel cherished, to feel valued, to feel seen, to feel appreciated. Right? Simple, but he was kind of stoic, male, whatever. Well, now she greets him at the door with a glass of wine.
Nice.
Different life, right? Again, she doesn't know necessarily anything, but the fact that now she feels safe and connected brings the best out of her. How do you bring the best out of a woman? Go, you can find out. You can call me. I'll teach you. Women, what brings the best out of men? That provide, protect, cherish everything you want instinctively. You don't know, and men can explain it. You got to learn. Whew. So that's what I'm suggesting.
Right on. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, good Lord.
Man,
now,
what a great conversation today. You just knocked it out of the park. If somebody wanted to get involved with your work, how would they go about doing that?
All right. So actually if you want to have a gift for your listeners.
Ooh, nice.
How's that? Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm being distracted on my computer. Hold on. So typically, in my world, I do a lot of podcasting, and it's typically two different types of people who listen to podcasts. Two different types. So one typical person is curious and they want information, right? So that's why they listen. Like we learned some stuff today. Other people listen to podcasts or research stuff because they want to take action, right? They're ready for they're kind of like biting at the bit. You know what I mean? So my gifts is in two folds, depending on who wants what. So if you email me directly at Andre Coaching, the number 1, andrecoaching1@gmail.com, and in the subject matter, if you want more information, just put in Irresistible Book, and I will send you for free a book that I wrote called The 5 Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible in Women. For free. The people buy the stuff, so that's my gift to people who want more information. If you want to take action, if you want to talk about it, if you're ready to do something, right? In the same thing, andrecoaching1@gmail.com. Just in the topic, just write "talk now," and what I'll do is I'll send you, excuse me, a link to my calendar where you could book yourself a VIP hour where we'll actually do what I call an exploratory call. And in that call, we really basically kind of get personal and talk about, like what's happening with you, what's working, what's not working in your life, what you're looking for more, whatever, right? The disconnect, because we all like find people get to me typically when they realize they're stuck in a loop. The loop. For women, it's like attract the same loser. Well, it's not man, it's you, right? There's no such thing as men are all, it's you. Man, there's no such thing as women are all, it's you, right? We're so this is what happens in childhood. Nobody gets out of childhood unscathed. Between the age of 5 and 11, typically, this is the formative years where we make decisions about life, the world, people, and ourselves. So, and we forget those moments where we decided that, men are dangerous, or women are crazy, or I'm not good enough, or nobody's ever going to love me, right? Like that, the belief system goes into subconscious, and it becomes the lenses in which you see the world. There's no reality. It's your vision of your own reality that is dangerous. So, and then the subconscious takes over. So people come to me with what's wrong with me. Women, man, what's wrong with me? And so in that call, we go right to, I'm really good at this, like 15 minutes, we go right to your childhood, and we find out exactly, it's always really easy, honestly, where the wheels came off. When you made a decision about yourself that became a mindset. And then from there, there's nothing wrong with you. Like that's liberating moment, right? Like, I'm not broken. No, you're not. You're just a result of this crap. Not your fault, right? So now that you know, and it's fixable, because everything's fixable when you understand what it is, right? So we understand this crap. Now you're free of thinking something wrong with you. We're here today. So what's the future? What is the dream life do you want to build? How do you want to end this life? What is the end of this story for you? What is the happily ever after, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then with that vision, then I'll share with them how we could do this. Like have the many different ways to work with me. There's 5 different layers, 5 different tiers of investment, if you want to put it that way.
Cool.
And so people who want to take action, who really are ready to go, call me. I'll send you my calendar and we'll have this call. Again, that call alone, whether we work together or not, is often life-changing just from that understanding of your past.
Well, that's outstanding. I'm going to make sure all that information's in the show notes so people have an opportunity to reach out to you, as well as your website and all your socials as well. I just want to say once again, thank you so much, Andre, for being on the show. You just knocked it out of the park today.
My complete pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Revolutionary Man podcast. Are you ready to own your destiny? To become more the man you are destined to be? Join the brotherhood that is The Awakened Man at theawakenedman.net and start forging a new destiny today.